A Kangaroo Fern production.
Never give up. And I know that sounds really cliche and I've heard that before, but it's seriously, that's my biggest advice is just never give up, because you never know what's around the corner. You know, those times where you think, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to give up. You just don't know what is around that corner. So the second that you do give up, you'll always wonder, could have, would have, should have, wonder what was lined up for me in the next 2 months. I could have made it, but I'll never know now because I gave up. So, yeah, just never give up and go for it. You've got nothing to lose.
The Tribe podcast show is a production of Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, which is all about supporting you to start and build a thriving business. Tribe podcast on Ozpod Syndicate.
So for today's episode of Tribe Podcast under Ozpod Syndicate, we meet Melissa Mulinaro, founder and director of Elitepartyz, a stay-at-home mom turned entrepreneurs with a brilliant idea while planning her children's birthday party. She recognized a gap in the market and built Australian first double-side party slash planning app. It connects suppliers in the event industry with everyday party planners and easy to use convenient app to stay organized while planning an event.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Please welcome to the show, Melissa Mulinaro. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Mike. I'm really well. Thank you. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. So this is a different party app in time of pandemic. Okay, before we can discuss this, the Elitepartyz, can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 41 years old. And I, in a past life, many years ago, was a hairdresser, and I owned my own hairdressing business for about 15 years. And I just fell out of love with hairdressing and thought, I can't do this anymore. I'm really looking for something that'll challenge me. And after having my son, I got into retail and just thought, I'm feeling a bit lost, and I really want to still be in business, but not in hairdressing. And I found that I was organising my kid's birthday party, and I just was frustrated that all my important information regarding the party was either in my phone or in my emails or on my laptop. It was all in different devices or apps in my phone. And I thought, there's got to be an easier way for a busy mum to stay organised. I did a lot of research, and there seemed to have been other party sort of planning apps, but there wasn't one that included local suppliers that you could contact through the app and pay your invoices to them, and it didn't seem to be a double-sided party planning app. So I thought, I'm going to do some research on whether suppliers are looking for an affordable platform to advertise their business. That's what inspired me to create it.
We are in time of pandemic, so a lot of people are staying inside. Some of them doesn't have any happening or event because of lockdown or restriction, how did you get an idea about this elite parties, and how it today in this time of pandemic?
Wow, yeah, good question. So when I came up with the idea, it was back in 2018. And so by the time I actually built the app and launched it, it was November 2019. So COVID wasn't even a thought in anybody's mind. It wasn't in anything I'd ever heard of before. And when we did launch, we actually got a lot of traction, and a lot of users and suppliers were on board and loving it. And then March 2020 hit, and yeah, that's when we had to close the app actually, unfortunately. And I really thought, oh, what have I done? I've invested everything I've got, money-wise, time, like emotion, like everything I had, I invested into this idea, and now it's crumbling as every day went by. After the pandemic hit Australia, I just thought, this is the worst business to have launched at the worst time. But what do? You can't get that money back that you've invested, and you can't take back the time that you've invested. You just got to keep pushing forward no matter what. So yeah, we did. We kept going. So after closing in March 2020 for 5 months, I spent that time just really figuring out, what am I going to do? Like, what's my way out of this situation? I can't afford to just give up and say, oh, well, that didn't work, don't worry about it. But I can't make any money off it right now because we're not allowed to get together and organise events. So I happened to find out about a grant that I applied for, and I got it. So it's an AWS Founders Grant, and they allow you to apply for it once during your startup, and it entitles you to gain 5,000 credits to use their platform for as long as those 5,000 credits last you. So that was the saving grace for me. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I do believe that it does help that you are in the right place at the right time. I happened to click on Facebook, on my Facebook app, and a post in a Facebook group came up talking about AWS credits. And I had no idea what that was, but I knew that I had an AWS account. So I just rang them and I said, listen, this is my situation. What are these credits and how can I get my hands on them? And yeah, the rest is history. I got the grant, and here we are, open and really finding our way now in this whole new COVID normal way of living.
So how did you keep up your positive mindset? And because there's a COVID lockdown, we still have a global pandemic. How do you keep your mindset despite of this setback?
Yeah, well, it's actually something that I feel like I've learned, or I've taught myself how to just keep positive in every situation. It's not something that comes natural, and it's not something that most people know how to do. But I feel like once you've mastered it, you can get through any situation, and you can really think about what you need to do with a clear frame of mind, and really find your way out of pretty much any sticky situation. And so that's what I did. I understand that bad times in your life are temporary. So that time that the pandemic hit Australia, I just understood that this is going to be a temporary thing. It's not something that's going to last 50 years. There's got to be a time that we are going to get on top of it, and we are going to find our way out of this situation. I just need to think clearly, and I need to think positively that I'm going to come up with a way to get my business up and running again. And yeah, that helps you just to make better decisions. If you spend your whole day going, oh, what am I going to do? Situation, I've lost all my money, I've wasted all this years of my time on this startup, I feel like you then get into a really depressed state of mind, and then you just get into this kind of like a black hole where you just keep digging and digging into this negative mindset. And the longer you stay there, the harder it is to get out. So I always try and keep that positive mindset in any sort of bad situation. And I find that it keeps me grounded and, thankful for what I've got. And hang on, I've got all of this. It doesn't matter that we're in a global pandemic. I've got my family. They're really healthy. And we're going to get through this. And we did. And I did find a way to open up my business again. And we are moving forward. And yeah, I just think it's something that you've got to work on every day to keep that positive mindset always happening in every situation. And once you've mastered it, I think you can get through anything.
So, by the sound of it, you have a passion on your idea.
Yes.
That you need to have a passion, and you have to have focus. What is your audience? What is your customer avatar? So, to our listener and also our audience who's watching here this podcast, and they're thinking of getting started their entrepreneur journey, what is your advice to them despite of this setback?
Never give up. And I know that sounds really cliche, and I've heard that before, but it's seriously, that's my biggest advice, is just never give up, because you never know what's around the corner. Those times where you think, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to give up. You just don't know what is around that corner. So the second that you do give up, you'll always wonder, could have, would have, should have, wonder what was lined up for me in the next 2 months. I could have made it, but I'll never know now because I gave up. So yeah, just never give up and go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Even if you've saved up $10,000 and you've put it into your startup, you've given it a good crack. And yeah, just if you always are waiting for that perfect moment to start your business, you'll never start. So just start today. And it could be reading that one book that someone recommended to you, or it could be anything. Start, listening to a podcast that someone recommended, and it sort of snowballs from there. That, you don't have to go out and buy the latest laptop and to start your business. Not at all. You just have to educate yourself. Join Facebook groups. They're all free things that you can do, and that will educate you. And you've taken that first step to starting your journey. So yeah, don't wait for the perfect moment. Just do it.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful explanation about that. So, what is the biggest surprise you had in the last few months and
This podcast is brought to you by OSPAD Syndicate, powered by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab. Kangaroo Fern is Australia's independent video and podcast management agency with a mission to help individuals and entrepreneurs to start their own podcast and harness the power of podcasting. Book now via www.kangaroofern.com.
what is the biggest surprise you had in the last few months and why? Even if it's happening, there's a pandemic right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's the biggest surprise would be the support that I have with my followers on Facebook, on Instagram. We have a really tight-knit community there on my Facebook. Sorry, I keep saying Facebook. On my Instagram page, the suppliers and I really support each other, and we just, anytime that we're in Melbourne and there's another lockdown and we're just like, we can do this, we've done it before, I'm here if you need to, and we have actual conversations about how it's affecting us via DMs. It's the support that I have on Instagram is I'm so grateful for it, and it's something that's an organic, it's happened over the last sort of the last year, where we've really banded together and we're all in the same boat and we're all in the same industry. And yeah, I'm just that support. I don't know how I would get through half the setbacks I've had without it. So yeah, that's been quite surprising, but a really good surprise.
So, as a woman entrepreneur, what was the biggest challenge facing you right now?
I feel like it's more a challenge of just being taken seriously, for one. You could have conversations and they say, oh, party planning app, oh, okay. And it sort of ends there because, well, you're not really saving lives. You're not in the health industry where, oh, of course, okay, I'm going to lean in and listen to this conversation because she's helping, I don't know, she's in the health industry. No, I'm in the party industry. Like, I feel like a lot of times people can really trivialize that and brush it off and go, oh, that sounds great. Next. So yeah, it's hard to get people to really take it seriously sometimes, but it is a big business. Like, if we can get this startup really happening and off the ground, it's got potential to really make a lot of money and change lives. And it's not about making a lot of money. I mean, that'd be great, but it is about providing a platform for suppliers in the events industry that's affordable, and they can, they know that it's going to cost them a small amount every month to be listed on this platform, and they're going to get plenty of bookings and plenty of inquiries from it, from everyday party planners that are looking for their services and products. And that's what's kept me going, is knowing that there are small businesses in the events industry that need this app, and yeah, I'm going to ride it out with them and really stay focused and make sure I see this to the end.
Can you tell me how the apps work? Can you tell us, to our listener and audience, how it's work? So if I'm an event planner, how does your apps help my business?
Yeah, so you can set up your profile with us, and that'll include your logo, your business name, website, social media links, and you can actually upload images of your products and services, add descriptions. So it's kind of like a profile and sort of like a shop really as well, all in the one app. And then everyday party planners come and search your profile and they go, oh, okay, this is the cake maker in my area. Her profile looks amazing, or his profile looks amazing. I'm going to, oh, look, I can actually purchase a pack of 12 macaroons right up off the bat here. I'm going to purchase 12 of them. I'll put in my credit card details. That money goes straight into their account. And then I get an invoice from that supplier saying that I've paid, and it gets delivered to my party at that time or date. It's something that no other app provides, and it's convenient for the party planner because, you know, it's all there for them, and they get to manage their budget. They get to manage their to-do list. They can invite their guests through the app. Their guests can RSVP, so they get to stay organised. And they create any event, you know, whether it's a baby shower, whether it's a 21st, a launch party, a Christmas party, a wedding, a bridal shower. So, yeah, it's something that everyday party planners are loving using, and suppliers are loving the fact that they can be on an affordable platform and set up their profile easily. And people that are really looking for their services or products are on there, booking them and finding them. And it's supporting local suppliers.
Thank you for that. How important for you is the security and the privacy of the customer? Because you're saying it's like a directory of different event planner. And if as a customer, I see one of the business, I put my credit card details or email them. How important is the security and privacy? And how did you do a vetting on a business who want to put their name on the apps?
Yeah, so we actually go through the payment gateway called Stripe. So that's all taken care of with the security of credit card details and things like that. We don't keep any of that. We don't record any of that or store any of that. So that's how how important it is for us. We go through a trusted payment gateway.
As a customer, how would you protect the privacy of the customer who is dealing with the business, and how would you check the business who is putting their information on your apps as legit? Or
yes. So businesses, we go through every time a business signs up. On our back end, we have to manually approve them. So we check for their ABN, we check where they're from, and we definitely do background checks before we approve them. Yeah, that's really important to us. And if we find that we can't find their ABN, or it's wrong or not an Australian business number, then we don't approve them. And if they contact us saying, why haven't we been approved, we'll give them a list of the reasons why. And then, it's up to them to then go and get an ABN and become a legitimate business. Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by OSPAD Syndicate, powered by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab. Kangaroo Fern is Australia's independent video and podcast management agency, with a mission to help individuals and entrepreneurs to start their own podcast.
So, on your startup journey, who has been your biggest supporter, or do you have a mentor or role model over this when you're starting up these apps?
Yeah, look, I did go through a business coach right at the very beginning, just because I didn't understand the world of technology. Like I use it, but to have a business in the app world it's really something that you need to be educated in before you enter it, because it's a big bad world of pretty much anything goes. Like anyone can say that they're a developer if they know a bit of coding or so I found that out, and I found that I didn't know as much as I should have. So yeah, a lot of research goes into just what you should be weary of, and what you should have set up so that you don't have sort of bad encounters or bad situations come to you later on in your journey. So yeah, a business coach was definitely a must, and I'm glad that I invested in her. She was amazing and got me to a point that I don't think I would have gotten to in such a short amount of space. I think it was within 6 months of having the idea and finding the developer, and then 4 months after that it was launched, which is not really a timeline that most people go by, because most of the time startups are just finding their way around, and they're making mistakes that they really could have been avoided if they'd gone through a business coach or a mentor program. So yeah, I'm grateful that I made that decision, definitely.
So you're saying every startup, or if you're thinking of getting into the entrepreneur journey, you need to have a business coach or a mentor?
I definitely recommend it. Yeah, they think of things that you don't think of or that you don't know about, and that can save you a lot of time, heartache, and money down the track. Yeah. So if you can invest in one, and a good one as well, like find one that you can really connect with and that knows the business that you're trying to get up and running. Yeah, I wouldn't just go with anyone that says that they're a business coach. Definitely do your research on what you want this person to help you with, and to really what you're expecting from them.
What motivates you to get up in the morning?
To really, I just feel like every morning I just think I can do this. I can make that extra step forward to where I want to be. I can definitely, every day I just think this is the start of day one. I can really make a difference to my business today. And that's what gets me up in the morning, because I just think every day is different, and some days it's just a constant setback after setback after setback, and then other days you get up and you go, oh, got that email I've been hanging out for, and this is the news that's made my day, and this has come through, fantastic. So yeah, I really love getting up in the morning and just moving forward one step at a time in this business, and hoping that the stars align and you can get off the ground again sometime soon.
Thank you so much for that. So on how can, so you're saying, so it's a different app. It's not different from other apps. So what is next for your journey? So what is next with this app?
Yeah, I feel like we're going to make some innovation on it when it comes to making it I don't know how to really explain it, but kind of COVID friendly. So when an outbreak does happen, you know, you'd want to still sort of stay connected with people, but through the app. So we really want to add features that would make people go, actually, we can sort of have a gathering with our family and friends and make it a fun, interactive experience, not just a Zoom session where everyone's standing there going, oh, okay, this is great. But yes, I'm really thinking ahead and thinking what are features that we can add to make it COVID friendly, I suppose, and make it interactive and make it so that people still use it even though they can't be together.
Thank you so much for that. So maybe you can do adapted about on COVID. It's a different scenario, like a virtual event, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, we do definitely want to launch beyond Australia as well. So we do eventually want to scale it so that we are launching in New Zealand first off. So that'd be a big goal achieved if we can launch in Australia successfully again and then head over to New Zealand. That'd be fantastic.
So you, when you're creating your app, are you bootstrapping it, or you, aside from, so you have a grant as well? You said you get a grant from this founder institute. Okay, so based on your experience, if someone have an idea but they are limited on their budget, what is your suggestion to them?
Well, my startup has been self-funded, so I just sank everything I had into it. So I don't think I would recommend that either. But I don't regret doing that. A lot of people say, oh, you should have had a business loan, but I'm glad that I didn't. Because then, COVID did hit, and then I would have had to service a business loan with a business that's shut down. Like, I'm really glad that I didn't do that. So I feel like if you know people that you can team up with or partner up with, that's definitely an idea. And always remember that money isn't going to be the one thing that makes your business successful. Like, obviously you need to have some sort of website startup, or you need a website, you need social media accounts, you need things like that, but they're not all things that you need to throw $5,000 at a time. There's a lot of things that you can do for free. It's just whether you're educating yourself on how to do it, so that you don't have to outsource and get people to do it for you. And there are a lot of grants that you can apply for, startup grants. So do a lot of research in that and see if you can get your hands on some free government money. There's always government grants that are suitable for most startups, and which I didn't know about. So I wish I would have known about that from the start. Do a lot of research before you go out and spend, $6,000 on a website, 20 grand on, whatever. Like, do your research.
Do you have any final advice or anything else you want to share to our audience and listener who is thinking of starting up their own business?
Just get out there and do your research and just do it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Whatever can be done, don't wait for tomorrow, because whatever can be done tomorrow can be done today. And that's when you don't talk yourself out of it. If you just go out and do it and see where it takes you, then you haven't talked yourself out of it. Don't have the fear fear will it'll make you second guess yourself, and then you talk yourself out of it, and then you'll never do it, and then you'll never know where it could have taken you, and you'll be stuck in your 9-to-5 job or whatever you're doing, wishing or wondering where it would have taken you. So I always say, yeah, you can always get another job, but that urge to start that business, it has to be actioned there and then, today. Just do it.
Thank you so much. How can our listener and audience connect with you online?
Yes, so we are active on Instagram, so Elitepartyz Business and Elitepartyz. I've got 2 accounts. So the suppliers interact with me on my Instagram, Elitepartyz Business, and then my users interact with me on my other account called Elitepartyz_. And parties is spelled Partyz. And yeah, contact@elitepartyz.com is our email address, and elitepartyz.com is our website. So yeah, we've pretty much got all bases covered.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa, for that information. So to our listener and audience, all the link will be on the show note. So please check the show note, or any description in the show note. Everything, or the link that Melissa said will be on the link. And then you can also connect her with all different social media network. All right. So thank you so much, Melissa, for your time. And I hope
Thank
that
you
this
for having me.
lockdown, it's done already. Let's have fun and safe environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Another episode of Thrive Podcast under Oxford Syndicate. See you next week for another great episode. See ya. Bye. Thank you for listening and watching. Make sure to visit our website at australiapodcastsyndicate.com. Be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when a new episode is posted in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or Facebook. If you found value in this show, rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. You can also join the conversation with Oxford Syndicate on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I love to chat with you over on Instagram. Follow me at The Side Strip and join us today on Facebook. Search Rebounds Australia, where can entrepreneurs figure out how to turn their dreams into reality. Be a member supporter and get a bonus content at australiapodcastsyndicate.com/support us. Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Or maybe you already have one but need a podcast manager to help you level up. Book now at kangaroofirm.com.